Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. I'm always sharing whatever homeschool wisdom that I do have that I'm gaining as I go through this process. I also love to share awesome deals because I love being thrifty and anything mom life related. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss anything good. So this video is called, What If I Don't Know What I'm Doing Yet? Can anybody use that phrase and slip that into a little pocket of your life? What if I don't know what I'm doing yet? We could be talking about being a mom and raising maybe little tiny ones. My first daughter, when we were able to bring her home from the hospital and they're like, here you go. And you're like, what do you mean I'm in charge of this little tiny human being? I don't know what I'm doing. You'll learn as you go, right? So that works with mom life, also with homeschooling. Homeschooling is just another level of not knowing what you're doing all the time. It happens. For some of us, I've been homeschooling. I believe this is my 8th year homeschooling right now. And I still hit times where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Now, today I'm actually specifically talking about curriculum and not knowing what you're doing for next year. And I want to encourage you guys that that's okay. So if you're in a spot where you're a little overwhelmed with everybody else feeling like they know what they're doing, whether it's in raising their kids or in homeschooling and knowing what they're doing and they seem like they have it all together, or just knowing what curriculum they're going to be using next year, and you might feel a little bit like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to hopefully encourage you through this because I'm in the same spot. So if you want to hear a little bit of encouragement, a little bit from my heart, just what I've been feeling lately, then go ahead and stay tuned. So like I said, if you're a mom, there's plenty of times in your life where you might feel like you don't know what you're doing. I don't know if we ever really master it. I've got 4 kids and I still sometimes am like, what in the world am I supposed to do in this situation? I have a son now. I had 3 girls and then the baby's a son. He's not a baby anymore. He's 6, but he's a boy and I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I started all over again with this boy and it's just a learning process. The whole point of this video is to do the best where you're at, in the spot that you're at. When we're talking about homeschooling, my point is for today, homeschool right now. That's our key for the day. Homeschool right now. If you don't homeschool, be a mom right now in the situation you're in. Let's talk about homeschooling. This is that time of year when I feel like everybody is starting to prepare for next year. We're not done with the school year yet. And I've only been doing YouTube for a couple years, and this is that time of year where I feel the pressure sometimes of, oh, I should be telling these people what I'm doing next year. And I haven't even finished this year yet. And you might be in a season where you're struggling to finish this year. I am. This has just been a hard year. This has been a couple hard years. I've talked about this some on my channel before, but my husband's had a lot of health issues, and it's really kind of rocked our world and really flipped life upside down over and over and over again. I feel like there's always something that is making life difficult, making it difficult to homeschool. And when I feel that, the only way I can get through is prayer, of course. I need to pray and get God to help me through this because I can't do this on my own. And to just focus on right now, today. Focus on this year, focus on this semester, focus on this week, focus on today and homeschooling today. It's so easy to get caught up in, especially when you're like more than halfway through the year or you're kind of nearing the end and not wanting to finish and being like, oh, I don't want to do any more of this. I can't wait to get the new shiny stuff next year and that new curriculum and oh, that looks good. And kind of not put your all in at the end of the year. So my focus right now is to homeschool right now. Homeschool the kids that I have in the place where they're at, with what they're struggling with what they're excelling in, and just focus on that. And I really feel like that's the only way we're going to finish this year. And that's the only thing that matters right now. You know, that Bible verse that talks about don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough worries of its own. I don't know if that's the way it actually, I don't know if that's the exact wording, but basically God said, don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on today. That is what I'm trying to do. That's what I want to encourage you guys to do. When you see all these videos start popping up on YouTube about what I'm using next year and what I'm going to use for my 7th grader, my 8th grader, my 2nd grader, whatever, and it might make you forget where you're at right now and start looking ahead. And you don't have to do that yet. There's nothing wrong with planning ahead. There's nothing wrong with looking at curriculum. I'm talking to those moms who are in a place right now where there's something in your life that's not making everything just go easy peasy. There's, whether it's a sickness or whether it's maybe a difficult financial situation. There could be some major family issues. You could maybe have moved recently. Maybe you have a baby that you've added to the mix. Maybe you have a kid who's really struggling with behavior issues. There's all kinds of things that can just really make it hard to just do what you need to do for that day. There have been times, especially lately, I didn't feel good last week. And you know what? I didn't want to do school. I didn't feel good. I wanted to just not do it. But I had to, and I did take at least one day where we didn't do anything. But I need to just press on, keep focusing on what I need to focus on, and just keep pushing through. And if you take it one day at a time and you don't look at, oh my goodness, we have this many lessons left and everybody else is, on whatever. One of my daughter's friends at church said, they were finishing on this date, and they're ones that they do school every day and they don't miss a beat ever. That's not like us. But I was like, so what lesson are you on? I don't know. They were on less than 170 and they go to 180 or something. So they were just almost done. And it's easy to see that and then look at where we're at and be like, we're never going to finish. We're not where we need to be. Don't get caught up in what you still have to do. Just focus on today. I'm going to show you a little illustration that really ties in with this that my son taught me on Sunday at church. So let me grab my Bible real quick. I thought this was so cool, so I'm going to share this little illustration with you guys. So on Sunday nights, my son sits in church with us. So he was sitting in my lap, or he was probably sitting in the chair next to me, and he was drawing or whatever, and he grabbed my Bible. I had my Bible open in my lap, and he grabbed my Bible, and he started looking through, and he was like, Mom, can you show me page 100? So, I'm trying to listen to Pastor. I'm like, okay. So I open my Bible up. This is how big my Bible is, and I turn to page 100. 100 sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like, if you had 100 days or 100 years or whatever, it sounds like a lot. Well, I'm going to turn to page 100 for you so you guys can see 57, 71, 93. Okay, right there is page 100. See that? In this big old Bible, do you see how much is 100 pages? Not very much. Look at what's left. All of this is left. And that's all he asked me. He just wanted to see page 100. He's been real big on recognizing numbers lately and pointing them out and different things. But it made me see what we think is taking forever, what we think, in life, in sickness and things like that, where you feel like we're never going to get through this. This has been forever and ever and ever. Well, this would be 100 years. We're talking about I was talking to my kids the other day about their grandma who died a couple years ago. She was 95. So 95 is, let's see, right here. So she was 95. She seemed like she had, that seems like a long time to live, but look how much is left, especially if you're saved and you know where you're going. You're going to heaven when you die. This is not even a fraction of eternity where we're going to be there forever. This is all we have here. And that's 95 years. So this was just a good illustration to let you see, just focus on today. Don't get caught up in feeling like there's so much and I've got to worry about, this page over here, and I've got to worry about what I'm doing next year. I've got to worry about whatever. You can get so caught up in the worries and forget about just the page you're on. Focus on the page you're on the day you're on. Focus on your kids. I don't think they're going to appreciate mom being distracted and looking at shiny new curriculum for next year when they're trying to work on that language lesson today, or they, are trying to take a history quiz, or they're doing their math lesson that maybe they're struggling with a little bit, and mom's over there in La La Land trying to decide what she's going to do because she has to figure out what she's doing next year. That's not going to do anybody any good right now. So my goal right now is to just focus on today. Focus on the page that we're on with my kids, give them the best that I have right now. And sometimes my best right now, with all the external problems that we have going on in life, sometimes my best is not the best. It's not what I want it to be. If I look at years ago when life was so easy and the kids were little and their school only took an hour a day, and then we played and we had all this fun, and my husband and I were healthy and happy and everything was wonderful. Okay. I can look back at that and wish that things were like that. But you know what? Today's today. And I need to focus on today. That's why I want to say, don't worry about not knowing what you're going to do. If you don't know what you're doing yet, you're going to get it. You're going to figure it out. If you don't know what you're doing yet with homeschooling, you feel like you're just treading water, do the best you can on the day you're on the page you're on. If you don't know what curriculum you're using next year, who cares? Most of us are not going to be starting, even like year-round homeschoolers. I still take a month off. So by the time we finish school and then we take a month off, I probably won't be starting until August. We're in March right now. I have months. I don't need to be stressing about that today. You might not be somebody who worries like this, but I know there's people like that, like me, who do tend to worry about what is to come. And it can be hard when you're always worried about like the next thing and what I need to do. I have my son, he's a boy, and he is different than my girls, and he needs a different kind of attention, and I'm learning that. And I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm doing my best in the day we're in. I'm doing my best with him to each day give him the attention he needs, help him get his energy out, refocus, help him to really put that energy into school and reading. He's been reading lately. It's been so good, so good. And it's one of those things where in the moment, in the hard times, I was like, he's never going to read, ever. And I had that with my daughter too, who now reads chapter books and loves to read. Focus on today. I don't know if this was a huge, life-changing thing for you. This is what I needed to hear from myself, and I like to share with you guys stuff that I need to hear, and I needed to hear this, to just don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Give your kids your best today. Remember, this is a really big book. We've got a long time left. Just worry about that one page that God's given you that you're on today, and do your best for today. We don't want to have any regrets, wishing we'd done this, and wishing I have times where I had my focus on the wrong thing. I feel like I didn't give my kids their all, and I get caught up in this needs to get done, and you might not do the special sweet read aloud time, or you might not, sit and cuddle on the couch because you're busy. Try to focus on today and make sure we're doing everything we can today. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that this was a little bit of an encouragement to you to just keep pushing through. You can do it. I can do it. We can all do it. And this is all worth it. It really is. There's so many days where I feel like homeschooling is such a blessing, but it is hard, and you can do it. Being a mom is hard, but we can do it. Just take each day at a time. Just focus on today. And I hope that you guys were encouraged by this. If you were, please give me a thumbs up. That will encourage me that I'm saying something that's actually helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. And yeah, I'll let you guys know when I know what I'm doing next year. But for now, we're just going to work on today. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Bye. See you guys.